Hey YouTube land, Tycondrius here, welcoming you back to another action figure review. Now today I'm doing a quick review. Well, I always say I do a quick review. Sometimes they get a little bit drawn out, so I'm just doing a review of the McFarlane gold label. Actually, if I just bring my camera up a touch, bear with me a moment. This is the McFarlane Doom, well, it's under the Doom Eternal license, but it's actually the classic Doom Slayer skin. So it's the very first version Doom Doom Slayer character, or guy from Doom guy, I think he was also known as. So this is the classic one. This is done as a gold label, which tend to be store exclusives. Now I can't remember which store it was exclusive to in the States, but we seem to have gotten them in the over here in Europe a bit more freely. I picked this up from a local comic store, or a comic book and toy store place called Uncanny Collectibles. So I'll throw a link in the description below for them. I picked this guy and the gold label Doomslayer and the gold label Robin, the Tim Drake Robin with the yellow, is it the yellow and red suit? So I picked those two up. And on the back of the box, there's nothing particularly, there's nothing particularly about this particular version of the figure on the back of the box, because if I bring in, I also have one of the boxes for the other Doom figures, which is the Ember skin Doom figure. If I bring in the Ember Doom box figure, it's the exact same picture on the back. There's no difference. They didn't change up it to represent which character it is. Just the only difference on the side. It says Doomslayer, and then for different type of versions of him in the tiny writing on the side, and that's pretty much it. He does come with a base. I didn't take the base out because it's the exact same base that nearly every McFarlane figure comes with. So I do actually have a version of the base. This is one of the DC versions. It's exactly the same. The only difference, it has Doom written across it from the video game. There's not much in the difference. He does come with some other accessories. He comes with his blade, which is attached to his wrist in packaging. I haven't tried popping it off or anything like that. It doesn't want to pop off, so I'm not going to force it. I know on my first version, Doom Slayer, the blade popped off way too easy. On the Ember skin one, not so much, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be glued into place or if it just is meant to be removable. But I don't want to be taking it off the wrist on this one, because otherwise it'll just come loose over time. He has his classic super shotgun, if I recall, which is exactly the same super shotgun, and it just fell out of his hand. The first version came with a slightly different paint deco. I might as well bring him in because I will be doing comparison. And I also have the Ember skin version, which also comes with a super shotgun, which I have done a review for as well. So they all come with the exact same weapon. The only one that comes with a different weapon is the one with the white armor, which I can't remember the name of. He's another, I'm not sure if he's gold label or he's another just variation. He's the exact same figure as these two, which these two are identical figures, whereas this guy is actually slightly different. Obviously, he does share a few parts, but not much. In fact, actually, I don't think he even shares any parts. Maybe the boots. No, actually, he's actually all new. He just has a very similar construction design. I think the only thing that he might share parts on, as I drop the shotgun for super shotgun for Ember skin. In fact, if I just bring the shotguns together, oop. Of course, this is the one with the tightest grip on his shotgun. So, looking at this, the only difference between classic version super shotgun and the original version super shotgun, the paint, silver paint looks the same. The main difference is the bottom of the shotgun here has the brown for the kind of grip, and on the Ember skin, the whole thing is just done in grey plastic. There's no actual paint apps except for the spike bits on the front where they're gold on these ones. They're just a flat mustard yellow on the Ember skin. So there is paint differences, but mold wise they are exactly the same. So I'm just going to leave these two aside for the moment. while I get into this guy. So as I said, the only part I believe they share is this thing on the back. Now I don't remember the original guy having this weird kind of laser contraption thingy-me-bob. I can't remember. I think because this is an unlockable skin for Doom Eternal that they added this on it. I believe the original Doom guy never had this thing. He did have this look, but some of the accessories, like I don't think he's super shotgun looks like the one that he's holding basically. But this thing can be kind of folded up a small bit if you don't want it kind of super visible. You can kind of fold it in out of the way on itself. It does have a couple of articulation points, but we'll run through his main articulation points. So his arms are on a swivel and can go all the way around. This pads thing does get in the way a small bit, but it's flexible enough that he will get out of the way if you want to move the arm all the way around. Not so much on the other guys. This upper piece all seems to be kind of sculpted together with this thing on him, so I think this is like over a body plate basically. He does have upper diaphragm and lower diaphragm waist swivel. He has splits that much. He can kick forward, kick back a bit. He doesn't really have any thigh swivel. He does have a single jointed knee, which is exactly the same like the originals. Would have been nice if they could have incorporated a dual joint knee, because like some of the other McFarlane figures actually have dual jointed knees. He just has a ankle swivel or rocker ankle with a bit of swivel to it. There's no boot front toe articulation, which is what a lot of McFarlane figures tend to have as well. In fact, if I can get someone who is a McFarlane figure, just another kind of line figure, okay, if I can get him without dropping everything, I'll drag in an old Scorpion here from the Mortal Kombat line. This is the single carded or 2-pack. I can't remember if this guy was a 2-pack version, but like you can see, McFarlane figures, the more modern ones tend to have dual jointed elbows and double jointed knees, whereas this guy was just, the original release of this guy was released just before he started getting into the more articulation points. So this guy has a single jointed elbow like his original counterpart, but there is one major difference, is that it actually has a swivel, whereas on the original ones it was just a single joint, so it didn't actually swivel at all, and that's a really nice added joint. The other thing is his hands are on a kind of more standard hinge, so instead of being on the kind of ball peg system that McFarlane developed for the Mortal Kombat, DC Multiverse, and the Warhammer 4000, pretty much all the other lines, on these figures they have like what's like a ball peg, so you can move it, and if you want the hand to go in and out, you just adjust it to where you want, and it doesn't go in and out, and just pop this little peg off. You can see it's a 2-part peg system, so you can get it back into place. And then if you wanted a hand to go up and down, you kind of just position it to the way you want it, and the hand will do, or the wrist will do what you want it. Whereas on these guys, and it's the same for the original version as well, the original version actually has the peg system. This guy doesn't have the peg system for that hand, or for both hands actually. But if I just bring in the original again, this is the blade thing that pops off all the time. And unfortunately his shotgun has gone flying off down somewhere, but it's exactly the same blade that they both have. You see there's this big peg and there's a small tiny peg here at the back, and on this guy it doesn't seem to glue or fit in securely. It's very wobbly, and the slightest tip will usually just knock it off. Doesn't seem to have that issue with the others, but I haven't tried taking that out to see it. He does have 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet, and that is pretty much it. And his head is on a ball joint as well, so you can get some up and down, tilt, and left to right. So there is that. I do love the design for the original helmet, this kind of just metal bucket. It's like they took a well, literally a bucket, turned it upside down and threw it on his head and put a visor on it. Like, compared to the kind of more detailed biker helmet that the newer version has, this one's fairly simplistic, but it still looks pretty cool. But all in all, he's a really cool figure. He's a great homage to the original Doomslayer figure. As I said, he doesn't share too many parts with the original. It's pretty much all new sculpt except for that. The weapons basically are the only things that transfer over, and some of the articulation points, in the sense of the knees being so single jointed, even though they are new sculpts. So you do have that, but all in all, he is a nicely detailed, and let's do a 360 what he said, nicely detailed and nicely articulated figure compared to the original. So I do recommend tracking one of these guys down. Price point, they should be around 20 bucks thereabouts. I wouldn't pay more than that for them, because the Doom figures are supposed to be kind of around the 20. I know this one, the original version, has gone way up in price since he got released. I think it was released nearly 3-4 years ago, which is why his price has increased. But the Ember Skin one, this guy, and the white armor one are all released this year, so you should, like, this year as in 2022, you shouldn't be paying way more for them than what they are worth. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review for the Doomslayer Doom guy, or Doomslayer classic skin. So as always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and cheers, thanks for watching.